installed. A couple little tweaks I'll show you, but here we go. Here's our big boy. Ta-da! Okay. Let's talk about the details. So I also have somebody who has two of the big stands and one of the regular ones. So the regular one still could fit, but it's a lot more wiggly. And this is fine-ish. But I don't love this. How much it wiggles. I mean, it could work, but it's less effective. I guess that wiggles a bit more, but that's also because it's fatter. So let's load one more for good measure. There we go. So there's all three. There's our larger size and our two regular ones. So the feedback I've had on this guy initially is that some of the carts, the top deck hole where they have mounts and stuff, they didn't drill it flush or level. So I'm gonna have to. I did it down here. I widened these holes. I did it backwards. I should have widened these ones so they have a little bit of play on the angle, so we can go through the hole and line up with the nut. I'll have to double check that because I'm having a hard time thinking of how to engineer that. If the cart is incorrect, I can't compensate for the angle, being off all over the place. But like I said, one of the feedback I had is somebody had their cart where the hole was drilled incorrectly. So I'm trying to figure out how to best compensate for that, and that just means there needs to be a little more wiggle for the bolt that goes in between. And the biggest thing is the handle here is going to be dictating what angle that bolt's at. So it has to be, even if I have this side of it be a much bigger hole, it's going to go at an angle. Maybe it's short. Anyway, I'll play with that a little bit more. But that's one issue that we've addressed already. Secondly is how much space we need in between, and we've addressed that. So we have plenty of space for these knuckles here. I need to check with the other stand when it mounts in here. The black ones that I've seen with that base that has the quick release collar, that the sides are tall enough that this guy will sit flush, which I think it will. This one is just kind of unique because it has this weird thing on the bottom. I'm not sure why it does that. Okay, otherwise, I'm just going to do a couple tweaks on the thumb screws, maybe, just so you can get a little more torque out of it with your hand. I've converted these guys into Allen key screws, you can kind of see, instead of a thumb screw, just because of space, how it needs to be engineered. And I'm thinking about doing that for all of them, just turning them into Allen keys, because I don't know how much you guys are going to want to tweak them, but we'll see. Well, I'm undecided on that. Otherwise, I think she's ready to update the orders that are out and need to update the listing. So there we go. Oh yeah, one of these is going to be backwards to the others just because of the way I print it flipped without having to redesign the whole thing. So ta-da! All right, so that is going to be very, very soon. I'm going to start running off the bottom receivers for anybody who's I'm replacing that. The metal crossbar should be the same on all of them. Down here, it's barely flush, and inside a little bit on this side, I guess. But that's because there's a little bit more. The mounts are wider, so if I'm sending you a replacement, it'll work with the same crossbar because these set screws will be tightened right on this have enough material to tighten. But anyway, okay, there we go. It's hot in here, so yeah, this is substantially much more plastic on these just because it's such a bigger stand. And there we go.